Alright, this should be part 3 of our video here. So the table shows the changes in the times and seconds of 4 teammates. What is the mean change? We're talking about the mean here. So again, the mean is the same thing as the average. And the average, you're going to find the total numbers, total of change divided by the total teammates. Alright, so my total changes, I have negative 2.43, negative 1.85. I'm going to skip the 0.61 and write down my negative as well. These are my negative numbers, and the positive number I have as 0.61. So I'm going to add up all my negative numbers here. I got 3, 5, and 5. That's 13. Carry the 1. 8 and 4 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. Carry the 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got negative 5.73 here. And then I'm going to take this positive 0.61 and this negative 0.73. And since they have different signs, I'm going to actually subtract the two numbers. Minus 0.61, right? Different signs. I'm going to find the difference of these two numbers. 3 minus 1 is 2. 7 minus 6 is 1. 5 minus 0 is 5. So I got really 5.12. But I have more negative numbers than positive numbers, so it's negative 5.12. So that's actually going to be my total change. So negative 5.12 is the total of the change, and I'm going to divide this by my total number of teammates, which I have is 4. Right? And 4 actually goes into 12, so you know that 4 is going to go into 512. So how many times does 4 go into 5.12? 4 goes into 5 once. Put a 4 there, subtract. I'm going to keep my decimal here. Bring down my 1. 4 goes into 11 twice. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract, you get 3. 4 goes into 32 8 times, and that'll be 0. So my average here is 1.28, and since I have a negative divided by a positive, the answer is going to be negative. So my change is negative 1.28 seconds. Next problem. We have the daily changes here. What is the mean? Okay, so part A is the mean again. So I'm going to add these numbers up. So let's write these down. So negative 0.05, negative 0.09. Oops, just joking, that's positive. So I'm going to write that one separately. 0.09, that's my positive number. Negative 0.04 and negative 0.008. Right? These are the daily changes in pressure for the barometric pressures and in inches. All right, so I'm going to add these up. And I have 12 and 8, so I'm going to go on my right column here. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. Carry the 1. And I have negative 0.17. I have 0.17, and I'm going to subtract 0.09. Right? These are one's positive, one's negative, so different signs. Find the difference. I'm going to take 9 from 17. I'm going to borrow here if you want to borrow. So 9 from 17 is going to be 8. And then I have 0. So 0.08, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 temperatures that were recorded. So I'm going to divide all that by 4. So 0.08 divided by 4 goes into 0 times, goes into 0 times, goes into 8 twice. So it's 0.02, and a positive 4 divided by negative 0.08 is negative 0.2, negative 0.02, or negative 0.02 inches. Per day. All right, and the mean change after 5 days is negative 0.01 inches, or negative 1/100th of an inch. What is the change on the 5th day? All right, so we have these 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 days add up to be negative 0.08. This is the 4 days. This is part B here. And then the 5th day is what's unknown. So we don't know what that 5th day is going to be. So I'm just going to call it X. I'm going to let X equal the 5th day here. And then I'm going to take those, add them together, divide by 5 because now I'll have 5 days and I'll get an average of negative 0.01. So I'm setting this up to be a two-step equation here. At some point we'll be doing this if you haven't done it already. So I have negative 0.08 plus 5. This whole quantity here is being divided by 5, and in time, and this is all going to equal negative 0.01 or negative 1/100ths. So how do we solve this x here? So what I want to do is actually find the total first, and then I'm going to subtract the total that I know, the total of the 4 days from that total of the 5 days, and then that will give me what my 5th day is. So we could do this simply by clearing this fraction. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5 here. Let me just use a different color. So I'm going to multiply this side by 5, which will allow me to get rid of my fraction here. But when I do to one side, I have to do the other side. So I'm going to multiply this side by 5. So this will leave me with negative 0.08 plus x, which is that 5th day that we don't know, and this is going to equal negative 0.05. So all these together are going to equal negative. So all the 4th day, the 4 days that we added up before, which was here, negative 0.08, plus that 5th day, which we don't know, take that number, divide, we're going to get a total of negative 0.05. So what is that 5th day? I can find this once I figure out, well, negative 0.08 plus what will give me negative 0.05. So the algebraic way to do this is to add 0.08 to both sides. That will cancel that out, allowing me to bring down my x, and I have negative 0.05 plus 0.08, and I'll get a positive 0.03. So the 5th day, the change was actually 0.03 of an inch, which allowed me to get, so if I added the 4 days plus that 5th day, divide by 5, I'll get that negative 0.01. So that 5th day, this is the 5th day here. Okay, that's part B. All right, let's keep going. Which expressions are equivalent to this phrase here, sentence here? 6 minus 4.5 plus negative 8. I'm going to simplify this as 6 minus 4.5, and I'm going to highlight this right here, the positive and negative. What does that really mean, a plus minus 8? And that really just means that it's going to be minus 8. Okay, so if I take these two signs, if I add a negative 8, it's the same thing as subtracting 8. It's the same concept. So I have 6 minus, I'm going to have 6, subtract 4.5, and then I'm going to subtract 8. Well, let's look at this one. Well, 6 plus, well, that one doesn't work because I need this to be a minus sign. So there's my first mistake. 6 plus, so that one doesn't work because that needs to be a minus sign. 6 minus, okay, so far so good. 4.5 plus 8, so that's no good because I need that to be minus 8. 6 minus 4.5 minus 8. That one works great. I'll take that one. So one answer so far. Let's keep going down. So now I have 6 plus, but don't get fooled because I have plus minus. So I'm going to simplify this as this plus minus here. So I'm going to do that here in red. So this plus minus really just means minus. So 6 minus 4.5. So far so good. And then minus 8. And that matches up. So far E and D both work. F. 6 plus minus, so again I'm going to rewrite that as the plus minus. I'm just going to write as minus 4.5, and then again a plus minus again, I'm going to write also as minus 8, and that also pairs up, and that, so far I have D, E, F, that's great. And then looking at my last one, part G, I'm going to simplify this one. This is 6 plus minus, so really that's 6 minus 4.5. And then minus minus, which we haven't talked about, so two minus signs together actually make a positive sign, so that one's going to be plus 8, and I don't want the plus 8, I want a minus 8, so that one doesn't work as well. So D, E, and F all work together. All simple, or all expressions that match are equivalent to this first expression. All right, a couple more. Number 11, over a period of 3 hours, the outside temperature was changed by an average of negative 2.25. So in the first hour, first, second, and third hour, they went down an average of negative 2.25 per hour. So in the first hour, it went down 2.25. In the second hour, it went down another 2.25. And in the third hour, it went down another 2.25, right? This is how much it changed per hour. Which statement correctly describes the change in temperature from the beginning to the end of the 3-hour period? So if it went down, so decrease works, increase automatically does not work. Decrease, increase So the temperature definitely did not increase, it decreased. So did it decrease by 0.75 or did it decrease by 6.75? Well, if I decrease 3 times 2.25 degrees per hour, then I'm actually decreasing a total of 6.75 degrees over the course of 3 hours. Okay. Next one here. A box contains 2.5 square feet of tiles and it costs $40.21. Where's the approximate price per square foot? So I want to know how much it costs for 1 square foot. So this is just a simple division. This is actually a unit rate. Right? And you could just find the unit rate by taking the dollar amount, $40.21, and I'm going to divide this by 12.5, but I'm going to convert 12.5 to a decimal so that way it's all uniform. All right, so really how many times is 1250 going to $40.21? So if you recall from 6th grade, you got to move your decimal over twice, move this decimal over twice, and really this is how many times is 1250 going to 4,021, right? I'm going to bring up my decimal here. All right, so let's do a little math here. So if we do 1250, how many times is that going to 4,000? Looks like this should go in about 3 times. If I do 1250 times 3, I'll get 3,750. That looks about right. So 3,750. And then I'll subtract 1 minus 0, 1. 2 needs help from the 0. 0 needs help from the 4. That goes to a 3. That goes to a 10. Still needs help. That goes to a 9. That goes to a 1. 12 minus 5, 7. 9 minus 7, 2. And I'm going to bring down my 0 here. Again, how many times is 1250 going to 27, 10? And the answer here is 2. 1250 times 2 is 2,500. 0 minus 0, 1 minus 0, 7 minus 5, 2. Still need to go a little further because I have money here. And 2 is going to be too big. It's going to be 2,500. So let's go 1. Let's go subtract 1250. 0 is good. This is going to turn into a 0. This is going to turn into a 1 after you borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5. This is going to turn to 1. 10 minus 2 is 8. Bring down a 0. Alright, so this should be the last time. So technically I could stop right now because we're talking about money, but I need to know if I need to round that 1 or leave that 1 by itself. So what that next number is going to be is going to depend on this number here. So how many times does 1250 go into 8,500? And the answer is actually, it's going to be 6 times. If you did 1250 times 7, you're going to get a number that's just slightly higher. So it actually goes in there 6 times. So I'm not going to actually do the math here. I'm just going to stop because I know it'll go in 6 times. And I'm going to use this 6 here to tell me to round this number up to a 2. So how much does it cost? It costs $3.22 rounded per square foot. Alright, and if you had a calculator on this one, which I don't know if this would be a calculator question on a PARCC test, but doing the long math, otherwise put this in your calculator and you'll get your 321.68 and you'll still round that to 3.22 or $3.22 per square foot. Alright, here's an expression, 1.5 divided by 2/3. Alright, so if you just take anything, any whole numbers, and they have 10 divided by 2, I'm really asking you how many 2's are in 10. You know, if you do 14 divided by 7, how many 7's are in 14? So if you look at these phrases here, a bag of almonds weighs 1.5 pounds when 2/3 of the bags of almonds remains. Okay, so let's kind of talk about addition and subtraction. How many 2/3 cups of yogurt? So how many 2/3 cups of yogurt are in 1.5? So I like that. So how many, whatever that number is, are in that number? How many 2/3 are in 1.5? And that's pretty much your answer there. That's what division is how many times, asking how many times that number here goes into that first number there. So 10 divided by 2, how many 2's are in 10? 14 divided by 7, how many 7's are in 14? X divided by Y, I want to know how many Y's are in X. Alright, if you're just using variables. So how many 2/3? 2/3 is, I'm being divided by 2/3, so how many 2/3 are in 1 1/2? Done. All right, I got one more here. A 14.5 gallon tank is three quarters full. How many gallons will it take to fill the tank? So the gas tank is a 14.5 gallon gas tank. That's the total gas tank. It's 3/4 full, so I need another 1/4 to fill it completely. So if I need a quarter, what is a quarter of 14.5? And really this is just 1/4 of 14.5. It's the same thing as saying 1/4 times 14.5. And this is the same thing as saying 14.5 divided by 4. And if you do that math there, 4 into 14.5, I'm going to keep my decimal there. 4 goes into 14 times. 4 times 12. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry by 2. Bring down my 5. 4 times 6 is 24. Subtract. Get 1. 4 times 2 is 10. 4 times 2 is 8. Carry by 2. Bring it down. And then you have 4 goes into 25 times. So 3.625 gallons to fill the tank.